Now, this may sound just a little bit scary. Whether you're someone who shares absolutely every aspect of your personal life with other people on the social media, or if you guard your privacy with gusto, you can be pretty certain that somewhere out there on the internet there are pretty basic details of who you are, where you live, when you were born, and they're all freely available. The truth is, we're simply not as protective of our personal information as we should be. So we've done a test to find out exactly what the consequences of lax security can be, and to discover how even the most basic details can help fraudsters earn a fortune. We're not all as safe online as we'd like to think. And sharing too much information about ourselves can make us easy targets for online criminals. So today at London's Earl's Court, some of the top experts in internet security have come together to share ways of beating the fraudsters. It's the job of people like James Line to stay one step ahead of the scammers, but that's a challenge that never stops evolving.
Any convenience technology that we come up with, from wireless to the new Internet of Things devices we're plugging into every part of our homes and business life, anytime we adopt one of those, the scammers come up with a creative way to abuse it.
So we've asked James to help us with a test. To find out just how easy it is to get hold of personal information online, he's going to see how much information he can track down about this man.
I have his name and email address, and we're going to find out exactly how much information we can get online about him and his life.
Our guinea pig for James's research is Rip Off Britain viewer Ashley Lawrence, who wrote to us after he became one of the 4 million victims of ID theft in the UK. James is going to be trying to work out how that happened, identifying how much information there is online about Ashley, and showing him how to protect himself from it ever happening again. Whoever stole Ashley's identity back in 2012 managed to set up a second user on his credit card and spent more than £2,000 before the fraud was spotted.
It was very worrying to find how easily a complete stranger had been able to find out information about me, and how easy it was for them to convince a bank that they were me.
Ashley did get his money back from the credit card company, but the crime made it obvious just how insecure his accounts were. All the fraudster seemed to need was his date of birth or his mother's maiden name, along with freely available information like his address or phone number.
Information like my email address, my home address, my telephone number, is information that I had regarded as not at all confidential. I'd happily give that information to anybody who requested it.
And many of us might do the same. But as James is about to demonstrate, even such basic information is just the starting point for a fraudster.
Ah, hi Ashley. How are you?
We'd given James Ashley's full name and email address, but nothing more. But from just those details, he was able to open the door to a surprising amount of personal information.
So Ashley, I've been doing a little bit of searching based on the information that you provided, and I just want to share a couple of the results. Does this number here mean anything to you?
Yes, it does.
What is that number?
It's been my home telephone number for the last 20-odd years.
And combining these key pieces of information with the name and email address that he started with, suddenly finding out more about Ashley is made a lot easier.
Just those small nuggets of information are enough to start a ripple effect. Most people don't think twice about posting, I'm XYZ age today, not really realizing they've just given away their date of birth, which is, of course, a secret when it comes to setting up credit cards, banking information, and the like. So it's much more valuable than people think.
And what's really scary is how far some of this information can travel.
I did actually find a couple of Russian forums which mentioned your email address and telephone number. There are people that go out looking for victims, and so they've obviously siphoned that information and put it onto a list and gone, hey, you know, here's an interesting target.
I don't think I've ever had any connection with any Russian person, firm or company.
No, it's quite common. In fact, At the moment, your name plus email address and telephone number can be sold by a cybercrime gang for about $1.50 US. If they had any financial information about you, credit card details, bank account details, that becomes worth about $40 US.
But things are about to get even more shocking for Ashley, as James reveals how even information about Ashley's hobbies can make him an easy target.
It enables them to tailor a scam, perhaps knowing the people that you're regularly in contact with and you trust, or the interests that are most likely to get you to go to a website or double click. If you consider, if I was to send you an email from James Line saying, please open this file, who's James Line, and probably ignore it.
Yeah.
But if I sent it from one of the members of the program committee at this society,
I'd open it automatically.
as most people would.
But emails like that can come with a dangerous attachment or the suggestion that you click on a particular link. Now, you might automatically click that link before you've even realised that the email is not from someone you trust. That one click won't have led you to anywhere useful, but it could give the hackers access to everything inside your computer. Using a second computer, James can show Ashley exactly how it is that once you've clicked the link on a spurious email, a fraudster can get their hands on all of your secrets.
So I've just deployed a virus to this system here. And I can do things like this. I can grab photos of the screen. So this is now me, the other side of the world, taking photos of your computer. Right. I could turn on the webcam. I could access the files on this system as well.
What's on my computer, you now have access to.
Exactly.
And I don't know that you've done that.
Exactly.
So a trail that begins with something as simple as a name and an email address can end up with hackers getting full access to your computer and anything that's on it.
It's terrifying.
It's surprisingly easy, isn't it?
Well, with such a little bit of information that they're able to expand upon it and really take over my personality. That's terrifying.
But don't panic. James has got plenty of advice to help us all better protect ourselves.
First things first, make sure you're running good, up-to-date antivirus and security software on your computer.
Yes.
It's not going to stop everything, but it will deal with a lot of the problems. Next, you want to make sure that if you do have an online presence, like your email address you're sharing to the world, maybe have another email address that you use for your online shopping or another email address used with friends and family so that they can't just hit you in one place and get everything. And finally, a non-technical one, just consider, does this person really need that information? Can I lie and give them a false date of birth to limit the data that's out there about you?
And those are all tips that Ashley will be following from now on.
I'm going to be very much more careful in future about giving information. I'm going to be far more wary, far more cautious. And I'd advise other people to do the same.